So, this one's gonna be about Monday, and you probably heard that okay, I hate Monday stuff and I wish, the weekend was there and some bullshit like that. And, if you think like that, then this might help you. I don't know, this might help you. I'm not gonna promise anything, but this might help you. But more after the intro. More after the motherfucking intro. Because I haven't sweared, I think it is not really good for me if I'm just having 20 seconds of not swearing, then I gotta have to swear, it's just in my DNA. Nah, I don't know. But yeah, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. Yeah, as I've already said before the intro, or in the kind of pre-intro section or something, we are talking about Monday, and this time we're actually on the Monday.com website, and I've looked some websites up as I've been already talking about it in the last episode, just because I wanted to have some new websites, some new sources for good articles, and it is actually relatively difficult to find new great sources for articles in the whole self-development, in the whole financial thing, so personal finances and investing and whatever it is a little bit more easy, just because yeah, I think you have Forbes and Inc. and money.com, and you have so many different websites. It's you're gonna find something definitely. In self-development spaces and self-help spaces, it is a little bit more difficult. We have, for example, the success.com website, but I'm not quite sure if it is a good one. Then we have the realsimple.com, which is the last one that I went through, which is actually quite a good one, but it is more it is more not that self-development, but more health and nutrition and women things as well, which is good, which is great. But yeah, But we are talking about Monday. And the reason why I've actually picked this article on the left side here, as you can see in a few seconds. Yeah, there it already is. This article from, as I said, the money.com website, it is called Gary Vaynerchuk and other top executives share how they beat their Monday blues and kickstart a successful week in the process. I've had a quick look at it and I'm gonna talk about it and I'm not gonna read it. So if you wanna read this article, everything will be down in the description, everything will be linked if you wanna go through it on your own. But I'm actually going through this article just because of Gary Vaynerchuk. Just because I'm a pretty great, I would say, fan of Gary V. I thought this might be a good one. And I already like this small little picture here of him. It, in terms of the illustration itself, it is you somehow know that it is him, but it really, it doesn't look like him. It really does not. The shape of his head is not really accurate. Something is wrong, So I think it is the shape. I quite don't know, just yeah. But you have the AirPods and you have the Jets jersey and or the Jets t-shirt. So you can probably think of it, if you just know him. If you don't know him, well, it might be a little bit more difficult. But the thing is, we do just have a few people there, Gary Vee, as I've said, and Craig Ballanty. I know him somehow. I don't know where from, I don't know how, why, whatever. Then Bedros Keuilian, I don't know him as well. Then Marina Mara, don't know her as well. Matt Clark, I somehow know him, I don't know why. Then Dennis Nayar, yeah. Tom Shi, which is SHIEH, so I don't know if it is she, something in between. I don't know. So it's actually a bunch of, relatively, I think, famous, investors, entrepreneurs, whatever it is. Navis Nina Hodyet. And last but not least, Craig Handley. And somehow he just also seems to be a person that I know, but I don't know him. I don't actually know. Yeah, and all these people talk about Monday and how they think about the week and how they kind of manage the week and also the weekends, which is also very important, but we're gonna get there in a second. And yeah, it is pretty interesting, I think, to see how they are facing the day-to-day problems or Monday-to-Monday problems and how they think about it, because I think it is more like a mindset game and more like a mind game, how do you say, like it's not really like, yeah, like it really starts in the head, you know, as people say it does in general. You know, everything starts with thinking and then saying and then doing and then habit and then life, actually, which is something that I believe in. I have been talking about it before as well. And yeah, but I think we'll just go ahead with Gary Vaynerchuk, entrepreneur, social media personality, and, or as they say, founder and CEO of VaynerX, 5-time New York Times best-selling author of Crushing It. Yeah, I think was it actually the kind of, I don't know, like the most kind of transforming book he wrote? I don't know, you know, but the basic thing that Gary says, to just talk about it, the basic thing that he says is basically like, well, he really plays into being grateful that you even have a fucking Monday. Like, he says like, okay, it is nice that you even have a Monday. Like, it is not really that for sure, or it's not like just, it is not really like, I don't know, it's not gonna be just always the case. Like, we die, like we really die, and you should be fucking grateful for having the Monday and having an opportunity, especially also because you are a human being, something that he also talks about as well. But we have a chance, we have the opportunity, we have a Monday, we have maybe the corporate life that we're living in that we so hate, probably. Like, the thing is, as I often say, people have it worse. You know, some people actually have nothing, which is like, yeah, you know, people have nothing and we complain about Monday. It is like, in general, the thing that people like to complain, and people like to just be mad at some things, be mad at other people, be mad for some things or whatsoever. Like, yeah, don't be mad at anybody. Like, be grateful for what you're having, whether it be just having that Monday or having like the smartphone that you're having, and just like, yeah, rather than thinking like, okay, I want to have a new phone because mine is old, just be grateful that you have one. And something that I actually realized as I dropped it into the fucking toilet. So my phone, I have an iPhone 5S, so it's fairly old. I still use it to record my fucking videos as the microphone. And I still also use it just day to day. Like, I know, posting on social media and all those things that I have to do and or that I want to do. And it works fine. It might not be the fastest one. It might not be like, I don't know, I like the design, you know, this is just something that I have to say, but it definitely is not the fastest one, and it definitely is not the newest one, and has not all the cool features, but I somehow also do not need them. Besides that, I'm really grateful that I'm having something to record with, that I'm having something that I can just use for being on social media and all those things. I'm really grateful for that. But something that I've just seen quite before is that he actually gives you a little bit of an insight into what he does on a typical Monday. So quite his morning routine, and this might be relatively interesting for you to use something. I don't know. So my Monday starts the minute I open my eyes at 6 a.m. So I guess he always just wakes up at 6 a.m. Just like every other day, I consume information from places like TechMeme, Media, Redaff, and Nussel, which aggregates headlines that people in my circle are sharing. Then I spend time on Twitter and Instagram catching up on what my friends are doing and conversations I want to respond to. I work out for an hour, say goodbye to my kids, and I'm often in my first meeting before 9. Something to point out, Nuzzle, so it is Nuzzel. It is basically like social media news app, if I remember correctly. I've had a quick look at it. He said it is actually a pretty old interview where he said that, and this article is from 2019. It's actually from July 1st. So what he's saying there is fairly old, you know, because I've seen it in, it might have been a Medium post, but I don't quite remember. The thing is, like, Nuzzle is an app. I don't like it, you know, it wouldn't be just a good use for me, maybe because I do not have everyone or anyone to kind of have a conversation with, but this basically is, but maybe I could also, Nuzzle, I've written it wrongly. News Intelligence, as they have their slogan. Just waiting a second. So Nuzzle provides industry news and media intelligence to busy professionals. And that's why top influencers in media, technology, finance use Nuzzle to save the time and stay informed. So it is really like somehow social media and news combined. People can share just knowledge and or headlines with each other and whatsoever. It might be something for you. You might be checking it out, or you might just have a look at it on your app store. Depends on whether you're on iOS and or on Android. But yeah, so this is what he does. The next one is Craig, again, Craig Ballantyne, might be Ballantyne, I don't actually know. And he's like, well, the thing is, just do shit early. Like, your competition is already there, your competition is already just sucking off your customers, so just start doing shit, start making something and be fast. Something that I like, just because I also just wake up, something that I really just got to like. I wake up, I actually have to or should turn down all the notifications that I'm having. I'm sorry for this little interruption. The thing is, I like to wake up early actually, and I like to just wake up, do nothing but sit at my PC and just start to work. It is amazing, because I'm just able to be so ahead of everybody else, or at least feel like that, which is also just an incredibly valuable thing to have, like feeling, the proper feeling to start the day with. It is amazing, like waking up, doing your shit and feeling like, wow, I'm just doing something at a time that nobody else or just not such a lot of people are doing, and I'm able to, get ahead of them and also get ahead of the week, as he says there as well. But he also shares another story, or he also just shares a story, and it is all about him being on a farm. Really interesting, and I'm gonna read that, because I kind of feel like it is an interesting story. So I learned an important lesson growing up on a farm where cows don't take a day off. When the sun comes up, you better start working. It is simple and effective. Use this blueprint to dominate your Monday morning, which is when you have the greatest control, willpower, and intention. Craig Ballantyne, owner of Early to Rise and creator of the Perfect Day Formula and social story selling system, author of the Wall Street Journal bestseller Unstoppable. Read how Craig overcome entrepreneurial anxiety, blah, 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 blah. So there's a little bit more. The thing is, you can somehow even combine it with like the first one. So the one from Gary Vee, like, okay, you have a fucking Monday, so just work. Just get ahead of the week, get ahead of everybody else. Because there are people that are already working, and just getting behind, I guess, I think it is not the best thing, and it's not the thing that you just like the most, I guess. But he also says, don't rush through the process late on Sunday either. Prepare your plan at the end of the day on Friday, then finalize it on Sunday morning. Kick back with your beverage of your choice in a non-work space. Design your week to take advantage of your time outside of work and get things done in your magic hours, whatever those are for you. Something that we can see throughout the whole article is that people suggest to actually start relatively early with planning for Monday and not planning for the whole week. Something that I could also suggest, and something that I can say is like, it makes sense. It just really makes sense to plan your week. And even though I think this just takes a little bit of practice, if I would just be like the first day in a corporate job or something, planning my whole week might be a little bit difficult just because I am not in such a routine, I don't know shit and whatsoever. But, if you have been in a certain kind of, area, certain kind of workspace, whatever it is, for quite some time, I guess it is, you're pretty able to plan ahead for the week, and it might just really save you a lot of time, because I assume, just because I'm having it myself, like, even though I'm basically doing the somehow exact same things every single day, like recording, doing the posts, posting everything, uploading everything, whatsoever, sometimes it's like, okay, what should I be doing next? And having a plan might save me, first of all, a lot of thinking power, and like, okay, I have to make a choice, I have to decide what I should be doing right now, which obviously takes some time, and I could just save the time by planning it beforehand. The thing is like, you need practice, and you just really need to know, okay, what you're going to do on this particular day. It might not be applicable to how you're working. You know, maybe you are a freelancer and maybe, I don't know, some things can happen that just would crush your whole plan and therefore it would be just somehow unnecessary. But I think somehow having a plan, like not like just really strict, but you know, in some kind of form makes sense. But maybe this is actually what the next one, which is Bedros Keuilian. So this Keuilian. And they all seem to be courtesy of the Oracle. I don't know what courtesy of the Oracle is. I might look that up as well. But he says, prepare for Monday morning and set up the week for success. I start on Sunday night. So yeah, as you can see, he also seems to start with a to-do list. And yeah, makes sense. You know, makes sense. Even though then having a great to-do list and having the right quote-unquote to-do list is also just important, just because like, yeah, you know, having something on your to-do list that doesn't make any sense or that is pretty unnecessary. So also just focus on tasks themselves, that they make sense. Also that the kind of order of the tasks makes sense, like in a training program actually, like really in a workout plan. Having some things that's just, yeah, makes sense, you know, by order, by whatever. But he also says, every morning when I wake up, I only work off my domination list instead of scrolling through emails or social media, reading text messages or browsing the internet. That helps me get productive and time collapse the result I get in life. Time collapse the results I get in life. Yeah, makes sense. So my to-do list focuses on items that move the needle and have an impact. So as I said, really important to also have things on your to-do list that make sense and that are really, really important. I don't know how you're doing it. I think seen it as well somewhere, somehow. I don't know, because you know I'm going through so many articles. It's like I don't remember. The thing is, some people like to just tackle the most important things and the most relevant things at first. At my point of view, it would make sense, you know, because you're just actually getting rid of the really heavy things just really easily in the morning. And for me, it is like, I'm really productive in the morning, you know. Throughout the day, my productivity just rises and drops and rises and drops. And it is like, really like a sinus curving kind of swingy thing, you know. Might be the exact same thing for you, but there it also comes up to being self-aware and just knowing, you know, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, which is also a great thing. That's, I think the last person, actually also Craig, or is it Craig? Yeah, it is Craig, like Craigslist, isn't it? Yeah, somehow. I don't know why. The thing is, he talks about that, you know, just doing what is just best for you, but we will head to him. Hopefully, we will head to him. The next one is actually a woman. Fortunately, we only had men up to this point. Schedule your week on Sunday night. So basically, again, the same thing, but let's actually see what she says. Every Sunday, I invest 1 hour of my time scoping out my entire week: meetings, flights, new clients, projects, completions, publicity, deadlines, events, blah, 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 blah. Come Monday morning, when everyone else is cursing their way to the office, I'm enjoying getting into a flow state while sipping my latte and knowing that all that is left for me to do is execute. Yeah, makes sense. You know, as I've said, and this just really plays into what I've been talking about before, I guess, you know, you could just really save quite some time by planning beforehand, and also just some stress, I guess, you know, as she might have said, but I've also just been thinking about it. I haven't communicated it, unfortunately. You know, I assume that it sometimes is really stressful for those people, especially that actually have a really tight schedule. You know, my schedule is like really not that tight. Really, really fucking not. It's like, okay, I have enough space for or enough room for, I don't know, eventual things that might come up or something. Yeah. But the next person, check your big goals and set intentions. But what does he mean? It is like on a real more, he talks about it in a bigger scale. I would say. Because he says, each year I map out what I want to accomplish and identify quarterly goals to get there. Something that I think also makes sense. Really makes sense. Like not having like those micro goals, which means like, okay, the goals for the day, the goals for the week, the goals for the month. It also makes sense to have just yearly goals. And you'll definitely then gonna accomplish the yearly goals by accomplishing the daily goals and the weekly goals and the monthly goals. It is really like this strategy and tactics thing, because strategy actually means the macro, so the big thing, the big picture, and tactics only lead to the strategy. The tactics are basically inside of the strategy, which then may or may not let the strategy work. And something that, it is just really kind of debate about the definition. Been talking about it before. I guess it is from Seth Godin, but I'm just still not quite sure. I'm really not quite sure, unfortunately. But I guess it is from Seth Godin, and maybe even from the book This is Marketing by him, by him. But he also says, so Matt Clark, because I already know my high-level goals, this alignment process takes less than 30 minutes after I've had my coffee and spend a few minutes stretching. Then I usually talk with my executive coach, who functions more like a self-development coach. This keeps me more grounded, more focused, and less stressed, and the businesses I'm involved in are doing better than ever. Co-founder and chairman of Amazing.com. I've read like Amazon.com, and I was like, what the fuck? Connect with Matt on Instagram. The next thing is get into the right mindset and visualize the week from Dennis Nayyar, something like this. I don't know. I'm not good at pronouncing names. And he says, I begin my Monday morning by visualizing the week ahead. I look over the calendar and picture what I'll be tackling, from my regular meetings to unique projects, and even that require atypical planning. Each week I take on a special project in addition to my routine objectives, so I outline the goals and prioritize a plan to conquer. I also take time to get into the right mindset before I get to my desk. I exercise before going to work, and while I'm doing so, I mull over ideas and projects. Yeah, makes sense for me to just really maybe as well have a look at yourself and just see what is working best for you. Like some people might be working way better if they had a workout before. It might be the case for you as well. And some people are just working way better if they just haven't eaten something before. Like I think this just really is like try and error. It's like you really have to try out things and see what is working best for you, and then change something up if something is really not working for you. In general, in life, I would say, and not only in just like work and Monday and whatsoever. Just try out things. It is important, at least at my point. Maybe you just also can synthesize with that, or can also, agree to that. Would be nice. Tell me down in the comments if you agree to that actually trying out things is very important. And if you're listening to the podcast, which is also available, so subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel if you want the video version, then just hit me up on Instagram and or Twitter and or Facebook, whatever it is. I'm everywhere. I'm also in your room. No, I'm not in your room, but I'm quite everywhere, like really. The next one is from Tom Shane. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. It is SHIEH. Brain dump into a plan and follow a routine. Yeah, again, about routines. But his routine might be important. On a typical Monday, I wake up at 5 a.m. to pray, reflect, meditate, read, and work out for an hour. Something that, for example, Tony Robbins also does. His priming, as he calls it, is basically like a meditation, but it's more like just being grateful, breathing techniques, and having a cold exposure bath. As I know, at least. He said maybe it just changed up a little bit. I don't know. Read and work out for an hour. Then I meet with my sales team before our all-staff meeting at 7. After that, I walk my kids to school and spend an hour with my wife at 9:30. I meet with my assistant to map out the week. Review your plan with your team and empower them early in the week and regularly throughout. Each hour you invest with the team can create exponential productivity. Yeah, really important. Just because I've also been talking and also thinking about like having a plan, having goals, just going through plans, going through goals throughout Mark Devine's The Way of the Seal that I've been gone through on the podcast as well, like a week ago. So there's a book on leadership. It's a book on SEALs, actually, because Mark Devine was a SEAL. And he also says, like, it is really important to just really ensure that everyone, not like 30%, not like 90%, everyone understands the plan that is actually involved, which is makes sense for me. And especially if you think about it in like a war situation, you know, in a war situation when somebody doesn't know the fucking strategy, the fucking tactic, and or the fucking plan, the goal, then it might be just really fucked up. It might even hurt and harm the whole fucking squad just because of one singular person. Something that, might not be that nice, obviously. And not the last one, but quite the last one. Carve out time for business development and breathe work. I used to prepare for the week on Sunday evenings, but my friend Stephen Fairley, the founder and CEO of the Rainmaker Institute, suggests an alternative that has worked wonders and helped free up mental space to enjoy the weekends. He suggests carving out 2 to 4 hours a week for business development. Friday afternoons are a great time to do that in preparation for the upcoming week. Yeah, really makes sense. Really makes sense to just also schedule some time for that, because maybe just also including it into your plan, you know, including into the plan that you're having to make another plan, or that you're having to revisit the plan, to just discuss the plan with your team and to do those things. Really makes sense for me. Really do make sense, because I sometimes assume, or I just assume right now that it might be the case for some people that, they miss out on that, or they just forget about, okay, I also need some time to make the plan whatsoever. So just schedule some time for the plan as well. She also says, then I start Monday mornings the same way I start every day, with simple brief work meditation, as I've said, Tony Robbins does. And then the last one, it's Craig Handley, and he talks about find what works for you. And the first line is very important, because he says, I have an unconventional answer. I don't like early mornings. I'm a night owl. I have ADD. I have AD, which is ADD. It might be ADD, it might be AD. I don't know. And work better with music blasting. What is ADD? I might... gonna look that up pretty quickly. ADD, to see what it is. ADD is a term commonly used to describe symptoms of inattention, distractibility, and poor working memory. Oh, it is some ADHD is the term used to describe additional symptoms of hyperactivity and impulsivity. So it actually is like attention deficit disease. Yeah, might be. So I have ADD and work better with blasting music or with music blasting. My work is my passion, so I want to be productive every day and not just Monday through Friday. Find out what works for you and make a plan and do it. For me, that's constantly reviewing my list of work and personal projects, goals, and life dreams. I like to knock out easy tasks one after the other, then push forward on my bigger journey projects, like finding time to write or work on creative projects. In a successful week, I accomplish most of my easier tasks, so I have time to enjoy my journey projects and research and develop ideas. So as I've said before, I was like, some people like to tackle the really important things at first and whatsoever. And he's like, tackle the easy things. As I've just understood that right now, might have just misunderstood that, but it really makes sense. Just have a look at what works for you, try out to see what works for you. Really important, and be productive, I guess. And maybe just revisiting your life goals and revisiting your goals in general is very important, because as I've noticed and experienced myself is, we tend to forget about them maybe, to just have a look at them. Just have a look at them and see if you're actually on the right path to accomplish them. Because sometimes we find ourselves on not the right path, and a path that might be good, but not a path that leads to where we want to go to, like where we want to be. It might be the case for you as well. But yeah, this is actually the end of this article from the money.com website. I've liked it. I've liked you to just reflect on it. I hope you've liked it as well. I hope this somehow helped you. I initially also thought about talking about sleep, just because this episode, I wanted to make this episode like an episode where I do not read a lot, but I just merely talk and read the article at first. I had a glance at it. I quickly went through it and decided like, okay, it is enough. I can go through it. During the episode, it was like, yeah, sometimes I struggled a bit and then read a bit because of that. But yeah, I think it is okay. I hope you've learned something. This is really the most important part. I hope it was interesting, funny, maybe even, I don't know. I hope to make it funny. I think this is actually the second of 3 episodes for today. I might be uploading another one today or recording another one today, but I'm not quite sure. So stay pumped for that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Subscribe to the podcast if you want to hear more, because every singular episode is available as an audio version and also as a video plus audio, video version. But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you gonna be remembered. So basically your legacy, because we totally have it in our control, even though you might be the nicest and most generous person on this fucking planet, still there's gonna be someone that doesn't like you, just because it is, I think, we humans, we human beings seem to be just this way. But I don't know. I'll see you the next time. Thank you very much. And also think about your purpose. Think about your purpose. Why are you here on this planet? What are you trying to achieve? With that being said, I see you the next time.